Hi everyone, it's Nat here. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm on for my third project for July for Aunty Vera Scrap and Craft. So for the first two projects you would have seen me make this planner set with 4 inserts and the cover. So today what I'd like to start doing is customizing it to suit my needs. First thing I would like to do is make a writing board. So a writing board tends to be a nice sturdy flat board piece that's about the size of the pages that you keep with it so that you can slip it under your pages and have a nice firm piece to write on. So that's what I'm thinking of doing, and I might actually laminate my writing board, because if I decide I want to do any art journaling or inking or anything on the side of the pages, it means I'll be able to go off onto the board and then clean that off easily. So that is the plan. So we'll get started with that first. So as you can see, I've got a whole lot of the Photo Play Living the Quarantine Life papers, all the scraps left over from making my cover and inserts. So I will be utilising those, and possibly some of the ephemera pieces that I have here also. They're also the Photo Play Living the Quarantine Life ephemera pieces. And I've even got some of the cutouts left from the paper pack. So I'll just put those to the side for now. So this is a 12 by 12 piece of slightly glossy white cardstock. I was given a stack of these from a lady on Facebook Marketplace who I bought some crafty goodies off of, which is really great because they'll come in handy for heaps of stuff. So I'm thinking this might be a good base to begin with for my writing board. It's semi-sturdy, and I think we'll decorate it with some of the papers, and that will make it even more sturdy then. So we've just got to figure out what size we want it. Now, I've been looking through the papers and I'm thinking that this one will be a good size for my writing board, as in width-wise. The others are a little bit narrower, so now I've just got to look at the pages. Now, I do have this insert, the Disillusions Dialogue insert that I bought as well, so I might use that to suss out how big we want it. So see, it's not quite as wide as the pages, but that doesn't matter because I can move it around. And you don't tend to write right to the centre of the page anyway. So we put it right on the edge there. Just see where it ends up. It's about 1 centimetre off. So we might do it, the board about the same width as this. So I'll just measure that. So that looks like it is 3 3/4 would be all right. So I'll cut it at 3 3/4. Just pull this out. Should be about, just thinking that corner's a little bit bent there, so I might have to take a bit off the edge first. So I might come over here and just take the edge piece off. Then we just got to figure out the length that we want it, because this is a little long. So it looks like we could take just under 1 inch off, really. That would probably be all right. So just under those 3, just measure that. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I lose my ruler every time I use it. Got another one in here. So let's have a look. Maybe if we do 8 1/4. Let's see how long this is. Yeah, 8 1/4 looks pretty good. So I'm just going to use my Helmer's glue for this. Where my cutting is not straight with that cutter. No, it's not, but that's all right. We can trim up afterwards. Doesn't matter if it's not perfectly straight for what I'm using it for. So that's that side done. Now, might have a bit to fit on this side. As long as one side's nice and flat, because you want one side really nice and flat that you're going to be putting the page on to write on. You don't want any bumps there. But the other side we could embellish a bit or use a few bits of paper, because it doesn't matter if it's not so flat. Some of this would look nice with it, wouldn't it? So I might use that. Find my cutter again. That'll look pretty nice. Look, I almost cut it perfectly too. At least it wasn't short. So I think we'll stick those on, or I could have it like that and that. Oh, now the decisions. So we've got that. Kind of like that better. So I just let my glue dry for a bit, and while I did that, I grabbed my spiced marmalade distress oxide that I'd got from Aunty Vera, and I went through my ephemera pieces, and I've chosen these little pieces here to decorate this side of my writing board. So what I might do is just ink around the outside edges of the writing board and ink around the ephemera pieces. Alright, so all the inking's done now, so it's time to figure out where I want to put the bits and stick them down. So this is like a little photo frame, but I'm thinking, which way do we want it? I was thinking of doing something like that. Maybe. So this says 2020 is a unique leap year. It has 29 days in February, 300 days in March, and 10 years in April. And then this says COVID-19, and it tells us what all of it stands for. So the CO for the corona, the VI for the virus, the D for disease, and 19 for the year that it was found. And then I was thinking of doing something like that. I do quite like that. So other way would be to do it something like this. I'll just do it the first way, I think. So just make sure I'm getting it where I sort of want it. Stick this down first. All right, I like that. I think that'll do. That'll be that side, and as I said, that side's just getting left plain because that's what the paper will go over the top of and we'll write on, so it's nice and flat. So what's going to happen, hopefully, is we'll laminate it, and hopefully that will work. I'll just wait for it to dry, and then what we can do is slip it into one of our pockets. I'm thinking it might slip. It's going to stick out the top a bit if I put it in here, but that's all right. It's not too bad. I reckon I can just make it fit. So that looks really cool. So it's just going to fit in the back there like that, or the front, either way. I reckon the back will be better. So, and then when I need to use it, I can just pull it out, open up whichever page I want to use it under. Oh, put it the right way now, and then do it like that. Of course, with these thin pages, you're going to see the pattern through, but that's all right. Might help me write straight, you never know. But that fits all right too, actually. Quite happy with the size. I could even, if I want to, there's probably leeway up the top there, which I might just cut it just a tad shorter under the first lot of dots, and then it will slip in beautifully in there. It's plenty long enough. So I might do that now before I laminate. So I'll just cut with some scissors, just a couple of millimeters off of there, and then I'll go laminate it and come back and show you. So I managed to laminate my writing board. Now the laminator didn't seal it, the top and the bottom. I had it placed like that. It's my first time of laminating, so I did leave enough allowance either side, but it didn't want to close off at the top and bottom, but it's in there quite well and it's closed off on the sides, so that's fine. If I need to, I reckon I could still possibly take it out and redo it sometime, but as it is, it's perfect anyway. I can still use it and whack it under the pages, and that way if I do get paint or ink or anything on the edges, I'll be able to wipe it off quite easily. So we can place that in our little planner folder now. So we'll slip that in the back just there. So that's ready to be used. Now, another thing I want to do to get ready to be able to use this is, of course, it would be great to have the ephemera and that in there, so that if I'm out and about or even sitting on my couch, there's nothing worse than having to get up and down and grab things. So I do have these Bow Bunny stickers, which I've grabbed from Aunty Vera as well for the month. They're absolutely beautiful, and the packaging of this is really cool and a great size to be able to fit into my pockets and that. So I think we'll put that in somewhere. So I'm just thinking of which book I'd probably use that one in the most. Either my bullet journal or my writing sort of journal. So I reckon we'll put that in for the bullet journal, which is the second one that I've got here. Now, you might remember that I put these awesome Dilution Dialogue pockets on there were 3 pockets in the packet, so I have one on my expense journal so I can put receipts and that in there, and I have one on my bullet journal because we love to use different bits and pieces in our bullet journals. And then I put one on my art journal because, again, I might cut out some pictures that I want to put in there and I can store them in the pocket as well. So I think these clear stickers can go in ready for our bullet journal. They fit quite nicely. It's just this bit, so I might just chop that off a little bit, make it a bit shorter because it opens that end, doesn't it? Yeah. No need to put them in anything else. That works perfectly. There we go. And then we have all of the rest of our cutter parts and that we're going to want to use in here every now and again. So I reckon I'll punch all of these out and then we'll find some way of storing them as well in there. And I've got the cutter parts and I've got the ephemera pieces. So I'm going to just start punching all of these out and getting them all together. And once I have done that, I will come back on and we'll work out some way of storing these appropriately in our folder. So I've punched out all of my ephemera. So I've got a nice little pile here. And I found the cutter parts that I had left all there. And another thing that I managed to do too was I stuck this sheet. Now, just trying to see if I've still got the thing so I can tell you which one it is. I've got some of it. So, but if you look at my unboxing, you'll be able to see, hang on a minute, I reckon this one's it. Yeah, so this is the Stay Safe paper and it had all of these speech bubbles that say all sorts of different things. So what I managed to do was put that into my scan and cut, and it pretty well worked. It worked enough. Yeah, I'm still getting used to learning how to use it. So, but for something like that, just imagine how much it would take to fussy cut them all out. I was tired looking at it. So this is what I ended up with. Now, just take this out. So I've got all of these beautiful little speech bubbles ready to go. And I've got fumbly fingers too. So I didn't do the worst job. It's a bit rough in some spots, but nothing that a bit of inking won't fix. So I was really happy with that. So it was more my effort of trying to get them off with the little spatula that just bent some of the little corner bits up. So I've just got to get a bit better at doing that, I think. But yeah, stacks and stacks of ephemera now, which is going to be heaps of fun. So the next thing I want to do is figure out how I'm going to go about storing all of this. Because if I just put it into the pockets, it's going to make a mess everywhere. So I do have these little bags. So I'm thinking a lot of the smaller ephemera will fit into one of these. So I'll put that in there. So that fits quite nicely. And then I've got another one here. Which I think will work well for these little bits. I'm going to have heaps of options for decorating when I'm out and about, or I'm sitting on the couch now. So I'll put all of those into there. Look at how many there are. I can't believe all of that just come out of that one sheet. Makes it great value, really. Some of these might even end up in I have a virus journal that I started a few months ago. So some of these will probably end up in that as well. That'll be great. All right, I think I got them out. So now I've got the 2 bags full up. So I'm going to think of whether I just slip them into the pockets, but I'm thinking I might actually make a backing paper to go with them just to keep them flatter and that. So now we've got our cut apart. So what I was thinking of doing for those is, if I can find, I have this sheet, which I think is going to be big enough to do something with. So I might just cut the edge off of this. Now, which side do we want to see the most of? So the idea is I'm going to create a little pocket where they can just sit in like that. So I might do it like that. So I'll just go my scoreboard. Might be a bit neater. I just want to go put a little bit of glue down either side. Like that. And that'll just stop our cut aparts from falling out, and if we make little tags or journaling cards that we want to use, we can store them in here as well. So we'll just let that dry for a bit. Now I can decorate this some more if I want to. Maybe, let's get the glue off. Maybe we should see if we've got a nice little word or something that we can put on there. Glue would look good. Avoid touching your face. I like that one. Let's stay safe. Maybe we should get a different colour one. What have we got? This is too much fun. Got a little COVID. There's enough COVIDs on it. Got a little love heart. Social distancing. And avoid touching your face. They wouldn't look too bad. What does that say? Shelter in place. Wash your hands. Let's have a look how that looks. Yeah, I like that, I think. Do we want 3 of them? That one definitely needs to go at the top. Maybe we'll just keep it as the 2. Get the rest in the packet. There we go. So I'll grab my ink. What I should have done is inked up there. I might see if I can do that now. Just add a bit of colour. So just going along. I am getting it on the back, but that does not matter. And you know, I can if I want write on the back here because it's got this sort of ledger type paper. So if I want to, I can write on that like a bit of a hidden journaling spot. I'll just ink around here as well to take the whiteness off. So we've got these cut aparts so they can slip in there nicely, hopefully. Let's see. Just gotta, there we go. Beautiful. So I made it pretty long, but that's all right. I can always decorate up there, which I might in the future as well, but it's just in case I make longer tags or anything like that. So they can just sit in there like that. So I'm thinking I might put them, I've got my art sort of journal and then I've got my writing one. I might use them in either, so I'm going to put them in the back here. So just gonna, I might have to stick that down a little bit better. I can do that afterwards just so it doesn't get caught on the way down, but look how nicely that fits in there. Beautiful, and so much easier to see that there's something in there and pull it out. I've just got to fix that so it doesn't get stuck. But that's going to be cool. All right, Now, what are we going to do with these? Getting a bit bulky, that one. These pockets allow for a fair bit of room. Yeah, they slip in there all right. Because I still do have... Maybe I could just slip a piece of the paper into the pocket just to keep it flatter. Might be the go there. I was thinking of attaching it to and making a little holder for them, but that could get problematic. So maybe we'll just cut it down and slip a piece in. Got some of this red one, which looks like a nice size. Yeah, that's almost perfect to slip in there, so we'll cut the edge off of that. Might just ink those up a little bit too. Geez, my cutter's doing me good today. Chop that little bit off. Which is really rough. Let's see if we cut these all right. There we go. Fits all right. Make sure we get it behind all the bits. Can always decorate the back if I want to as well. All right, so we've got those. Now I notice that we've got a couple of tags in here too. I might take that big one out. We can shut these. I love how the bits you take off you can never get off of you. So now we've just got to figure out where we want to put those. So now that's going to be for receipts and stuff. We've got stickers in there. So I think these little speech bubbles can go in here. So they're ready for my bullet journal or whatever there. The other thing I was going to do was use this tag. See, this tag I can just slip in here like this. It fits perfectly. And it looks pretty cool too, so I might put a tag topper in there sometime. I'll just take the little circle out. And that looks good there. I can put a little note on there for myself. Then we've got the ephemera, which can go for ready for our art journal. Just in there like that. In the end, I might have to put something just so I can see. I mean, you can see something's in there anyway. But. Now, the other thing is I've got all these little bits and pieces. This one's a bit bigger and wouldn't fit in that frame from the ephemera pack. I don't want to waste these little scrappy bits, and I think these will be really cool to decorate some of my pages in my art journal, my writing journal, just to add a bit of colour in that. So I want to keep those. So I think another little folder or something would be really cool to put that sort of thing in. So I'm thinking of making a folder we can fit in this front pocket that can have the longer pieces and bigger pieces in. So we do have this left. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe if I chop this along here. Okay, so I finally worked out how big I need my little folder, and that seems to fit quite nicely. Now, this is still going to be... Oh yeah, that won't be too bad. So we can decorate this if we want to as well, but I might put it together first. So I'm just going to stick down one side. And the reason why I'm only sticking one side down is because this piece is a little big to fit in there if I stick both sides. So by leaving one side open, I can slip things in like that. And hopefully it will still fit into our pocket. If not, this will just have to stay out separately. So I can fit bits in like that. Also, if the littler bits go down in the bottom, it'd be easy for us just to do that and get them out. Could even bag the tiny bits and then slip them in afterwards. I saw you have to go and check out Amira's because she was sorting out all the ephemera for what she wants to do as well, and she suggested that she was going to cut out the names and keep them to put somewhere, which is a great idea. So I'll probably do the same, and bits like that, and even the word photo and play and that. You can use all that sort of stuff as well. Probably even keep the barcode. I see a lot of people doing art with barcodes, which is really cool. So that's more bits of ephemera we can use in there. So what I'll do is, yeah, cut these bits up, slip them all in here. And I will slip that into here. See, it fits quite nicely, just like that. It's getting pretty bulky now with all of that in there, so I'm glad I've got my ties. But as I said, you know, I can take that to the couch or out in the car with me. Take just a little, like I've got little glues like this, so I could take something like that with me on my stick glue and just sit here and play in here now. So that's going to be absolutely wonderful. Now I do have other bits and pieces as well, which I have to organise. So I sat down the other night and did a whole lot of stamping with the photo play, living the quarantine life. Don't mind that, everything falling over. The stamp set, which was awesome fun. I used my stays on and I stamped onto some label. So glossy label it was, that's why I used the stays on. So I stamped out a whole lot of the days of the week, and then I stamped the COVIDs and some happy faces and sad faces and to do and all that sort of stuff. Now I stamped them onto sticky labels so that I can easily use them when I'm out and about without having to take the stamps and ink and everything with me. So that's another thing that I can put into one of the plastic pockets and slip in here as well, which is heaps of fun. But when I'm home journaling and working in here, I can just use the stamps as they are and use different coloured inks and all that sort of stuff. So I will finish this video here. I have showed you now, we'll do a quick flip of how I intend on organising all the ephemera and bits and pieces, embellishments that I'd like to use. As I said, I can embellish all of this more, so that's a whole heap of fun still to be had. So there's a pocket there I can still slip some stuff into. So my stamps that I showed you, my sticky label stamps, might end up somewhere in there. I can still embellish the inside of the covers. This will be my budgeting book, which I started in. I won't show you too much. I'm quite private about all of my sort of, you don't want to see how little money I've got in the bank. So yeah, there's nothing in these pockets because that will be for receipts and that sort of thing mainly. So that's where I've put my tag and my Bo Bunny stickers, which we will be using in here to decorate. So it's the bullet journal. there's those cutouts that my scan and cut did for me, saved my wrist. So here's the ephemera pack. And there's my art journal. And that's where I keep my cutouts. That's worked out really nicely, except for the this, because it's sticking up a bit, it gets stuck on here, but other than that, slips in and out nice. And there's my writing journal. And here's writing, whatever you call it. That looks pretty cool. So I hope that's given you some ideas on how you can set up your planner to be able to take around with you and have fun in. And I shall see you again soon. Check out everyone else's blogs, see all the fun they're having. You'll see all the products that are on sale for the month. You get a really good discount for the month of July on these products. Take care, have fun, and happy crafting. See you later.